Welcome back to another Vinyl Friday, where I go through my records in alphabetical order and talk about the things that I like a big nerd. Today we're looking at the Beatles, 1962 to 1966, or affectionately known as the Red Album. This was a very tricky one for me. It was between two. The runner-up was I Feel Fine, and the chosen song, Please Please Me. I really love this song. I can see why George Martin told them that they had their first #1 hit when he was recording it for them, or after they finished recording it or playing it for him, or whatever the case may be. They played it for him and he said, "Boys, you've just gotten your first #1 hit." I don't know the direct quote. You know what? Never mind. George Martin really liked it, and I also really like it. There are a couple of things that I really like about this song. Okay, let's look at thing number one. Thing number one is that in the verses you've got one of the voices holding one note, and you've got the second voice doing this descending melody. The one that's holding the note is, "Last night I said these words to my girl." The other one is, "Last night I said these words to my girl." And here's what they sound like together. "Last night I said these words to my girl. I know you never even tried, girl." Okay, so that's thing number one. I don't know what that's called in musical theory, and I think that the people on Reddit who called me out about my lack of musical theory knowledge are definitely going to take me down on this one. Yeah, I don't know what that's called, but one of them is doing this, and the other one is doing this, and it sounds really good together. That's all I have to say. Because ultimately, this is about music appreciation, and that is what I appreciate about this music. The second thing, thing number two, is the bit that goes ding 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 ding. It just works really well. And it's really cool because it bridges the high energy verse with the slightly more relaxed bridge to the chorus. I'll show you what I mean. And then we get back to the high energy at the chorus. I hope that the clapping helped to make that clear. It's a really simple riff, but I think it really contributes a lot to the song. Very economical, not much effort, big impact. What was the third thing, Nancy? Okay, I've remembered. Thing number three is the call and response. Now, I have a real soft spot for call and response because my background is Latin American and Pakeha New Zealander, which is really unusual, but there's a lot of call and response in Latin American music. So we've got, "Come on, come on." And again, we've got the same harmony thing happening where someone's singing, "Come on, come 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 on." I think that's George. And the other one, Paul, is singing, "Come on, come 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 on." It builds the tension leading into the chorus so that the chorus feels like an explosion. It's basically the Beatles equivalent of ba-ba. Okay, so I'm over here editing this, and I can't believe I didn't draw the connection to A Day in the Life. It's like the 1962 equivalent, excuse me, the 1962 equivalent to A Day in the Life. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. I believe the fourth thing is that John Lennon said that listening to Roy Orbison is what inspired this track. And you can really hear that on that high note. So yeah, it's that octave jump. Please, please. It's that falsetto that gives the Roy Orbison vibe. I really love Roy Orbison. I don't have any Roy Orbison records, so this is really my only chance to say it. I love Roy Orbison. His music is great. So I really like that little reference, that little nod to Roy Orbison. The last thing that I love about this song is that it came out at approximately the same time as Love Me Do. And Love Me Do is like the most basic, not only Beatles song, but like pop music. It's got very few chords. It's got hardly any variation in the lyrics between verses and chorus. It's just very, very simple. Basic. Please Please Me, on the other hand, has all of this interesting stuff happening musically. I'll show you the chords. But yeah, way more chords, much more complex arrangement. They're doing that sort of riff to go into the chorus. I think with Love Me Do, they don't really do anything specific in the arrangement, they just play the song, whereas this has a few stylistic choices like that I mentioned earlier. This is the thing that I love most. I adore chords. I adore interesting chords. I enjoy interesting patterns when chords are put together in unusual ways. So this song features this chord, these, which I'm a big fan of. Come on, come on, come on, come on, please. And then back to the root. Oh yeah, like that, please. So the song's based around E major. Let's just distill it. It's the... That's really cool. And that's what I mean about making stylistic choices in the arrangement. Love Me Do is very straightforward. Whereas this is syncopated. 1. Even little things like that make it a little bit more complex. So they introduce a new chord in the tail of the song. So new chord here. Love Me Do, I think they fade out. Yeah, so they fade out Love Me Do. They're just like, okay, we're done, make it go away. But with this one, they've written a specific ending for it. To make it, again, to make it more interesting, Ringo's doing this machine gun snare part. This like, oh, come on. And we've got also this kind of canon thing happening at the end. Please, please me, oh yeah, like that. Please, please me, oh yeah, like that. Please, please me. There are two of them. The lyric, obviously, is please, please me like I please you. And the next person is picking up the last please and making it the first please, so that they sort of trip over each other. Here, please, please me, whoa, yeah, like that, please, please me. But yeah, I don't think there are very many stylistic choices like that in Love Me Do. And again, they came out right next to each other. So it's fascinating to me that they did this very basic, simple song. And then the next one was complicated, I think, even by 1963 standards. So yeah, they're new players on the scene and they just knocked it out of the park, just like that. Especially, yeah, after a song that was nice but not particularly impressive, I guess. This is a massive follow-up to a maybe slightly underwhelming debut. So in conclusion, George Martin was right. That's a 10 out of 10. Cool, thank you for hanging out with me. It was good to have you here. Oh, I forgot to say, 62 to 66 is a double album. So I'll be doing one of the records this week and the other record next week. Spoilers! Thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope that you have a great weekend. I will see you here next week. Freak out!